Well, welcome back on board. Well, nearly on board. And you join me on launch day. And it's been 6 or 7 weeks of some pretty early mornings and some very late nights, but really happy with how the boat's turned out. So let's have a little look underneath, because at the moment she's sat here with the hoists attached. And as you can see, we've got a nice gloss finish up top. This was all blue and it was very patchy, been touched up and scratched and lots of things, so I decided to go for a nice grey colour. I think that's come up quite nicely. I've also removed all the old stickers, and there was a vinyl wrap going around the top there, so that's all been polished out. And underneath, obviously there was 9 or 10 years worth of anti-foul on there, so I had it shot blasted and it came back basically as new. After that we had to sand it and fill in any little gaps using epoxy filler that there were. The blasting had just exposed the gel coat, so did a small repair on the bottom of the keel as well there, and at the front of the hull. So it's been a little hive of activity around here. After doing the epoxy filler, doing the holes, we've then done 2 coats of epoxy primer. That comes in 2 different colours, so that comes in cream. We whap the cream one on, then we whap the grey one on, so you can see where you've been basically. And that seals the hull underneath. And then I've put 2 layers of primer, anti-foul primer, and then I've put a good quality Jotun commercial grade anti-foul on the bottom. But have a little walk around and we'll see what she's like. And should be launched in about the next half an hour really. So again, it was another late night last night, making sure everything was ready. One of the jobs last night was, after we've polished up the prop, we had to have covered the prop in this wax so that nothing sticks to the prop anymore. Obviously we checked the cutlass bearing and found that the prop nut was actually loose yesterday, so we've done that. Put some new anodes on the rudder, so it's all fresh, ready to go. And just giving the hull a really good check over. But have another walk around. Taking all the old stickers off here. I'm going to have to find something to fill those gaps, break up the white a little bit, but I think some company logos might be going on there. But yeah, she's all stropped up, ready to go. So fingers crossed, all of the work on the engine that we've done, all of the work to the inside of the boat pays off. So it's been 6 odd weeks of pretty hard work. So thank you very much to the lads that have come down to help. Sort of mainly shout out to Phil, the key man from Morrison's. He has put absolute shifts in. He's been down here when I haven't been down here, and he's been down here. We've been working sort of midnight a couple of nights, and there've been a few 5 AM starts. Not for Phil, that's for me, just to get her in and to meet this deadline that I've set myself of 10:30 today to get her in. So she's all ready to go. The only thing I've got to do now is, when she's lifted, is to lift her off these blocks and just anti-foul under there. Same again at the back. We actually had to move these blocks and the ones at the back to do the small repairs on the hull, which are there, which you can't really see anymore. And we had to move the stands last night in order to paint the patches and to anti-foul the patches. So let's get her up in the air, and then we go for a little sea trial. Couldn't be more excited. Fingers crossed all the work's paid off. There she is, still on the way in the straps. Easy as that. Here she goes. Here she goes, the moment of truth. Well, we're in the water. Well, not just yet, we just had to get out of the water to go pick up Lukey. Lock gate's open for us, engine started lovely, so it's time for the first sea trial on Tempest Fusion. So first off, we've got to get into the lock, and then we're heading out into the river. Very excited. Here we go, the first lock in the Fuget. Water's coming out of Shotley, engine's running. Another boat in there behind us. Pumping loads of water. Not as much smoke as there was. And then we got Lukey the mechanic. Gav on board. Give me a hand. Just trying to work out with the electrics, but very excited to get out there. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. We are at 4,000 RPM, which is perfect. It's actually a little bit more than I was expecting. We're doing 17 knots. There's no steam. Well, there's a tiny little bit of steam, but the temperature gauge is sitting perfectly, and we're flying along. What a machine!
Oh, she's planing.
Woo!
Temperature's perfect.
Yeah.
88 degrees.
Spot on.
Lovely.
A little bit of research and a little bit of get the spanners out, and
Hold on, mate.
we're flying along, boys.
Now on the back.
Well, I've got wide open throttle. We've got 4,400, which is well over what we expected. And temperature creeping up to about 92, but we've got 20 knots against the tide, so probably about 22 knots, something like that would be a fair. Really happy with it. And there we go, back in the lock. Absolutely lovely. Hit 22 knots, wide open throttle at about 4.25 RPM. And happy days. Really, really happy. There is a leak on the intercooler, the water exchange, so we've got to sort that out. But other than that, she's gone absolutely smashing. Absolutely smashing. I'll see you again.